and that is about all the development team of Firefall did right.
They made this awesome T-shirt. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. So, this is the KBMOD AMA. You ask us anything on a forum thread that has already been done.
Make sure to upload the thread.
Yeah, we don't actually. Once again, this is the second week we've done this, but this isn't going to be every week. If we have a launch stream on a Tuesday, there will be none of this. There's also some other show ideas we had that we may try out at some point. So there you go. But looks like we're 115 strong, so we'll get started.
121, Dan. You misspeak.
Jesus.
121. They're coming in fast and furious from the left side, right side, right side, right side.
Speaking of horse racing or racing,
Yes.
or sometimes, did anyone see the
Orb.
GIF that Diction linked today?
I didn't.
I've seen the full there's several videos of that I
What
saw
happened?
a while ago.
I didn't see
It
it.
starts out as a normal horse race
Can't-
and then just...
Can't even describe it.
Yeah,
It's
you really
just-
can't. It starts as a normal horse race and lasts like a minute. And then, like, by the end, like, one of the horses is like 60 feet long. One of the horses is dancing.
Okay.
One of the horses has another horse riding
one.
on top of it.
It's a Japanese CGI animation. That's all you need to know.
Fucking weird. It's fucking awesome, though.
That's not the link.
I
That Nigel
watched-
just...
That's not the link.
That's the one.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put this here link up. If I
Just
could
gonna
actually,
go ahead and leave this here.
I was
just leave
excited
this
by.
here. I'll put it to the left.
I was excited that Incredible Orb won the Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
That man, just everywhere, just a force to be reckoned with in almost every sport, even
Yeah.
sports that don't have an E in front of them.
Yeah.
I know I'm not talking about raving.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Please,
all
too
right.
hot.
Too much, too soon. All right.
You're on fire. I need to take my shirt off over here.
Yeah.
Just be
All
next
right.
to the Skype call.
Muy caliente.
So, question number 1 from poster Rory on the forums,
Rory.
and this is a little different than like what is your favorite movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Because these might not necessarily be the same thing. What is a movie that you can always go back and watch? Like, you're
I
like,
have
you know
a
what?
couple
I'm kind
of
of
things.
bored. I haven't seen that in a bit. I'm gonna go watch that, or like, you can just always watch it.
Yeah, it's like yeah, if it's on, like if you're scrolling through, if you have like a HBO subscription or something, you're scrolling through and they always have those movies they play like 30 times in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll always stop to watch that one movie. I have a couple of those actually, because I don't watch a whole lot of movies, so
Yeah, me neither these days.
actually having like ever for me, I have never been a big movie watching man, but because I have so few movies that I've actually seen and enjoyed, you know, those are the ones I always end up going back to at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one that sticks out to me is the Blues Brothers movie, the first one.
Solid. Very solid movie.
Which is some may
Okay with that.
it's a great movie. It's just so awesome, silly, deadpan, and some may remember me mentioning in commentaries. It's actually the reason I originally bought my hat was because I really like their hats.
Solid.
So that's where the fedora came from, not
Yeah.
because I'm desperately trying to look sharp. For,
Well,
okay,
there is that aspect of your personality too, but yeah.
It is, yes. That's it reflects me as an individual.
Yeah, original
As they
Blues
say.
Brothers is really good. I'm guessing by what I think our demographic is for the most part that a lot of people here have probably not seen the original Blues Brothers, given that it came out in 1981, I think, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, 80, I think.
80.
I mean, I
So-
wasn't even born yet. Dan,
Yeah,
how
I
old-
wasn't born
Yeah, me
yet.
neither.
You weren't born either. You're not that old.
Yeah,
Dan's pretty
I'm
old.
pretty
though.
old.
He's
Yeah.
lying about his age, everybody.
But it's really good. That's a solid choice, and that is a hysterical movie as well. So.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It has some amazing music. I think probably one of my favorite scenes in all movies is the scene where Aretha Franklin starts singing to. He plays her husband. I forget his name, but he was a really influential guitar player.
I forget.
And I forget who it is, but they're trying to recruit him, and she's his wife and is like trying to convince him not to leave. So she starts singing her song "Think," and the whole like they run like a soul food restaurant in the ghetto, and like and the kitchen staff joins in and starts backup singing for him. And even though she's singing against the Blues Brothers, she's singing against Elwood and Jake and trying to convince him to not go with them. They get up and start dancing along to her music just because they enjoy the music so much. It's just such a good scene. Probably my favorite scene in all
It
movies.
is a solid scene. Is it as solid as this Flanlord link?
Oh my god, that may be the best link I've ever
To
seen.
me as the Queen of England.
Oh my god,
I believe.
that is terrifying. Fucking terrifying.
He also did a Lethal Weapon poster with me as Danny Glover and Nick Fenton as Mel Gibson.
I did see that. He said he was trying for way too long to make you black and just couldn't
Yeah, I
quite.
just couldn't. I'm so
my
white
God.
that even Photoshop couldn't make me black. So
He
there
tried.
you go.
He tried.
Tried desperately though. I should put it on screen, but setting this shit up is so fucked
Yeah,
anyway that I'm
difficult
not
enough.
gonna do that. Question for you. No, we're not talking about MOBAs.
No slam
Talking
tarts. Too
about
funny.
MOBAs.
We're talking about goddamn movies right now. All right, so let's just go. Let's do one at a time here. Maybe this will go a little longer. So you just did Blues Brothers.
Brothers.
I'm gonna go. This is oh boy, this is an embarrassing pick, but one. This is we got to be honest, man. This isn't. There's no bullshit here. One of my favorite films of all time, and this isn't one that's necessarily on TV much, but it's one that I return back to because I have the DVD, and it may be on Netflix now.
This is a porn, isn't it?
No, it's it might. It could.
It's Backdoor
it'd be less
Sluts
embarrassing.
13, isn't it?
It'd be less embarrassing if it wasn't porn. You've Got Mail with Tom Hanks.
Oh my!
Wow,
Meg
dude, I'm
Ryan.
done.
No, listen, hear me out.
All right, see you
one
again.
of the best romantic comedies of all time. That movie has everything in it. It has the chemistry, it has the drama, it has the ups, it has the downs, it has Fox Books, it has the shop around the corner. Don't laugh. The chat. Why? What is this?
Just
This-
an immediate
I
fag.
honestly can't really judge because I haven't seen it.
I have
Okay,
seen You've
good.
Got Mail. It's not a bad movie.
It's not bad. It's
It
one
is
of
what it
those.
is.
It's one of those. You know, the end scene gets me choked up every time. Don't cry, shop girl, as he wipes her tears away. Then they fucking kiss, and his dog, Brimley, I think, is at his leg, and he bites his jacket, and the movie ends. And Somewhere Over the Rainbow plays. Oh my God! Every time, right here, gets me right there. So anyway,
I
can
seen
watch
it,
the movie
That
24/7.
sounds so gay.
I don't even know
And, like,
what
not-
to do
not
right
even,
now.
like-
My world is shattered into a
Well-
million pieces.
I mean, I could quote that entire film almost at this point. So.
Good question
You
from
know.
the chat. Have you ever watched it on your period, Scott?
No, I haven't tried that. I may try that sometime. That might be too emotional. to be
Or
honest.
like You've Got Fail. Okay, all right.
You've got Foul with Rapid Fire.
Someone needs to Photoshop now Tom Hanks with an FAL in his hands.
Just trust me, man. God bless Nora Ephron. God bless her soul. She passed away this I think last year, and I went to a Nora Ephron. We had a Nora Ephron like a movie spree, and we watched Sleepless in Seattle, which is far inferior to You've Got Mail. You've
Ooh,
Got
I
Mail.
don't know.
I don't know, man. Not as good. Not as good.
seen-
Now, while you were sleeping, now we're out on the comment of romantic comedies. Bill Pullman in that, and then While You Were Sleeping is very good, as is Sandra Bullock, who I'm not generally a fan of in most romantic comedies. I Am a Woman, APL 2013. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna stop talking. Dan, what is
Scott,
your, what is-
can I just say
I'm
something
enjoying
real
your
quick?
rom-com rant.
You need to hang out with my wife, I think.
Yeah. You guys would
Dude,
be great girlfriends.
I'm down.
be-
Tell her I'm down to
She's
chat.
been watching The L Word. She's on like episode 60 of The L Word. Also, there's some sweet
Labia?
titties in that show.
Really?
Yeah,
That
it's like
must-
basically softcore lesbian porn. That like every
Oh,
episode.
So the
Wow.
L word is labia.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Is that?
Got it.
How this show went 60 episodes, I don't know. Because seriously, every time I come upstairs, she like puts it on and falls asleep, and so it's just running when I come upstairs at night.
And you're
And
the
it's
one that ends
just-
up watching it.
And it's just like all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, there's some lesbian titty stuff going on. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. And
yeah.
now
And then
I'm gonna
you start-
throw on. Now I'm gonna throw on Star Trek Voyager because I'm a nerd.
You know, I'm sure there is a rom-com that I actually did like, and I honestly cannot remember what it is. I do remember there was a teen movie, like a teen rom-com that I liked. 10 Things I Hate About You is actually a pretty
That's
good movie.
really good. Yeah, but it's based off Shakespeare.
Exactly.
So-
It's based
Yeah.
off, what's it called? I forget the name of the play
Yes,
now.
The L Word is on Netflix, as everyone flocks to go watch The L Word now that I've...
You just
talked
said
about The L Word.
softcore lesbian porn, man.
It pretty
We
much
lost
is.
half of our audience to go watch
It is.
that on Netflix.
Yeah.
But for me, there's actually... Well, we were talking about it. I thought of the movie that makes the most sense to me for this, that I can just watch anytime. Because, like, one of my favorite movies is Fight Club, and I can watch Fight Club all the time,
God.
but
Solid choice.
that isn't this movie. But, like, that one,
Right.
I have seen Fight Club probably triple-digit times, like, no joke.
Damn.
But the movie for me that I can just watch at any time, for various reasons, is Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Also a very solid choice.
Because
Yeah,
it's just
you're,
like-
you're liking your action movies, eh?
Oh, dude, I can always go for a good 80s style action movie. Although T2 is just extremely well done in pretty much every respect.
Yeah.
James Cameron's last real solid film, in my opinion, Terminator
Well.
2. But T2 has, Schwarzenegger's awesome in it, obviously, because playing a robot for him, pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty. That's kind of typecasting him.
it's
But like
appropriate.
even Linda Campbell, I believe is the actress's name. She's fucking ridiculously good in that movie, and so is the kid. What's his name?
What's his fucking name?
I forget.
God.
James something, I think. But
Steve Perry.
he's in American History X as well, as the little brother. But
Yeah.
T2 is just like, it's like action movie, but it's like super well written too. And the action scenes, well over the top, are also not like completely insane though. Like
It's not to the point that it's campy. I mean, it kind of
right.
is, but it's just
well, it's not
skirting
like,
that line.
It's not
just
like
enough.
Rambo taking out like an entire base of Russians with just an M60 machine gun, like and one arming it. Like,
And I love the
Oh, yeah.
Rambo movies for like how over the top the second two are.
yeah,
But
I bought that trilogy.
I couldn't just watch them at any time.
Yeah, me neither. I have to get drunk to watch like a Rambo style action movie. I like get drunk with my friends and watch, Rambo 2 or 3, or like a Dolph Lundgren movie that stars Dolph Lundgren from the 80s. Get one of those, or like an old Seagal movie like from the 80s before he was fat.
Yeah.
But
You know what? One of mine is actually kind of an action movie, and it's sort of horror, sort of action, and that's the Dawn of the Dead remake from, I think it was 2006.
solid. Is that the one with who's in that?
Ving Rhames.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not a bad
it's
movie actually.
really good. I think that's honestly the best Romero movie, and it didn't even have anything to do with Romero because it was a remake.
Yeah, speaking of chat, First Blood is a legit fine film, though, Rambo.
Oh, yeah,
the
no,
first
First Blood is
Rambo is
fine.
like...
I still can't watch it just whenever, but
Well, it's serious. It's a
First
super
Blood-
serious movie.
It was serious, and it also didn't have the ridiculous like body count of the other two movies.
Oh, no.
'cause
Yeah.
he only killed one guy, and it was kind of accidental.
Yeah.
And everything else, I mean, and it all came from like self-defense. They started it, not him. They drew first blood. But in Rambo 2 and 3, it's like Solid Snake. We're gonna throw you into, and he was a big inspiration for Solid Snake.
done.
We're gonna throw you in there. We're gonna find you in whatever like monk temple you're sitting at, you're hiding out in.
Well, I
We're
love
gonna throw
Rambo
you in there
3.
and
He's
kill her.
like actually a monk. And they're like,
yeah.
the Colonel got captured, and like that's enough for him.
And he's like, Colonel.
He's been passive for so long. Actually, the newest Rambo movie, if anyone saw Rambo 4, I saw it opening night because I'm in.
I actually really liked Rambo 4.
Rambo 4 is really good, actually.
I still didn't see it. Yeah.
That's one of the most
Yeah.
violent movies
But
that you can see.
that one had enough of like the seriousness of one, and it just
Yeah.
sort of escalated rather than being like a one man kills everybody. And like, don't get me wrong, Rambo is still a total badass in that movie.
Yeah.
But even though he's still like sort of a one man army, he actually has people fighting with him, and it sort of shows you like these bloody conflicts that can escalate, because it was in what was the name of the country? Burma, right? It took place in Burma.
Yeah.
And that is actually a war zone. It really is like a horrible. Is that? If I feel like that's not right. Hold on.
You could Google it. But while we're on the topic of like,
No, I was right.
okay, fair enough. While we're on the topic of good action films, I will say, even though there's not a lot of like gun action in Mean Girls. There's a lot of action that always goes in my mind when I watch that film, and
That's a
one
great
of
segue.
my that's one of my favorites. I can still watch, and that's not really a romantic comedy. That's just a great movie.
Yeah.
But
still
anyway,
haven't
sorry.
seen
Go
it.
ahead. Go. You guys can continue. I just wanted to talk about.
Is there any other movies besides rom-coms that you could just throw
Oh
on,
man,
Scott?
so many.
Like
besides
I
rom-coms.
actually have
Oh, then-
Apocalypse Now. Except the only
Really?
issue
You can
with
watch that?
Yeah,
That's
dude,
dark,
I fucking
man. So
love
dark.
that movie so much. But it's the only problem with that movie is that if I throw it on, I just never finish it because it's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, that's
So
real
you
long.
never get to the end of it. But
Yeah, as far as like the first Matrix, the
First
original Matrix, I
Matrix,
can
man.
watch over and over.
I don't
do.
mind the last two Matrixes. People
No,
like
I don't
shit
hate
on
them.
those movies.
Yeah,
I couldn't make it through Matrix 2, and I didn't even bother with
The Matrix is the best action one of all of them. in my
the
opinion.
action in it too is
I
it's
couldn't
pretty
take it. I got 45 minutes in, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember what it was about it that was just like, oh my god, this is so stupid. I don't know. I just
Some good
gave
ones
up.
some good ones from the chat. Office Space, absolutely. I've seen that movie like 50
Oh
times.
yeah,
That-
I've seen that one way too many times.
A comedy. Comedies for me, it's weird. Office Space is one that I can go back to a lot.
Yeah.
But comedies for me, I often can only see it once and then I never want to see it again.
That's
Really?
understandable because then
Yeah.
you know all the jokes. Because a core element of comedy is surprise and unexpected outcomes. So when you know everything that happens, why would you want to watch it again?
Don't try to make what
Me.
Dan just said normal. Blacklight. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Yes,
You're crazy.
I
Look,
am.
you're
Pretty-
crazy.
You got
Alright,
rused.
Someone
kid.
in chat saying I'm pretty forgiving with movies because I got so much hate for liking Prometheus, but
Yeah, Prometheus was pretty bad.
but it's not pretty bad though. It's
It was
fucking
pretty
about aliens, dude. What do you
It
want?
was pretty
Anyway,
Oh boy.
I didn't enjoy it.
but I used to be a huge movie snob, and then I realized you should probably just have fun watching some movies. So
Yeah, I'm not really a snob about anything but like hoagies and beer. Like I can't even.
Very specific. Hoagies and beer. That's
I am
my-
a snob
I'm from
about
Philly.
beer.
What?
See, I'm a snob about beer, but
Yeah,
I'll get a fucking.
No, I get
Yeah,
that,
because
man.
you're from fucking
Totally.
Pittsburgh. You don't have any good hoagies.
Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true. Well,
That's true.
Scott knows this.
I do. That's not a debatable point, Dan. And if it is, I'm going to get off the call. But what I
talk
was
again.
going to say too, as far as movies go, there were some good ones in the chat. Someone mentioned. Oh, we just talked about Office Space. Dumb and Dumber is one of my
yes,
favorite.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
another one. Those two comedies I can go back to anytime.
Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. I mean, over and over.
You know what my favorite? You know what my favorite Jim Carrey movie is though? Gotta be Me, Myself, and Irene.
God,
That
that is a really almost underrated. I feel.
Dumb and
That-
Dumber.
It was
man.
very underrated compared to
one
like
talks
Ace
about it.
Ventura and stuff. But
Yeah.
his character acting was so incredible throughout all that,
Yeah.
being just switching between two characters
Yeah.
over and over. And not only was it like a really hilarious and unconventional comedy, it also had a good love story to it. It had a little bit of action to it. It had a little bit of suspense. It was just it had a little bit of everything. It was mostly a comedy, but it had those little other aspects of just making.
How do you guys feel about Super Troopers?
I
Super
love Super
Troopers is
Troopers.
great.
I've seen
Yeah.
that movie like
Totally.
Yeah.
5 or 6 times at least. And that's a
Love
lot.
But there's
Truman,
like
yeah, Carrie has so much good stuff.
does.
That was not relating to Super Troopers, but yeah,
yeah.
other films. I'm just people are saying Liar Liar is it's another classic. Truman Show is great, man. Fuck. Jim
Fuck,
Carrey,
that's a lot
man.
of good movies.
Just fuck me. I haven't watched the Jim Carrey movie in a while though.
You know what? Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I love that movie, but I can't just watch it whenever.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just not one of those movies for me.
Boys in the Hood and Forrest Gump. What a combo.
Nice.
I actually really like Once Upon a Time in Mexico too.
Oh,
But
great
but
movie.
Again, I don't know that I can just throw that. I went through a phase of where Johnny Depp was like the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah. you had
For a
your
while, he
crush.
kind of was.
It kind of was for a bit. Did you guys ever see the
And
Ninth
then he got married
Gate?
to.
You ever see
What
the
is it?
Ninth Gate?
No.
Oh my God! Get the Ninth Gate. It's on Netflix, I think. Depp's in it. It's like based off a book, I think, but it basically there's these 9 books and they open a gate to hell when you get them all. And that's I don't want to give away more because if people haven't seen that movie, you should go watch it. It's on Netflix or was, but definitely go watch it. It's really good. Ninth Gate. But Documentaries? God, we could go forever if we
boy.
start on
Yeah,
that.
we got to start. All right,
I
well,
haven't
let's do a few of these and then let's move on to the next because we're gonna go 30 minutes on this question.
A few documentaries.
Man.
Art of Flight.
Favorites?
I've said this on the podcast before. Art of Flight is amazing. Probably the best looking film on Netflix to stream. I haven't seen a better one. Carl Sagan's
Yep.
was it Universe? Is that what it's called?
Not Cosmo. No.
Cosmos.
Cosmos.
Duh.
It's called
I think it was called
Cosmos.
God, how did I
Space and
blank?
shit.
Cosmos.
Space
Cosmos
shit.
is fucking amazing. Even though it's 20-some years old now. And I said this last week maybe, or on the podcast the week before, the Michael Palin Around the World in 80 Days from the 80s is fucking amazing. So
Yeah.
check that out.
I really haven't seen a lot of documentaries.
Oh man, that is why Netflix exists.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's
Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Yes,
It's a
Exit Through the
great
Gift Shop's
documentary.
fantastic.
And will really make you hate art.
Yes.
Or art, in quotes.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
real. Because you're like, fuck, dude. What was the one? Fuck, I'm trying to remember the names right now. I'm looking at a list right now. That I've seen. Yeah, there's so many. I always
Indie Game the movie, since we are a gaming channel.
well,
Indie Game
totally.
the movie's awesome.
something.
well with Phil Fish in there.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't really go
He
wrong.
wasn't an asshole then, though. Yet.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
If you say so.
Well, I can't really. God, I have so many. I used to have a whole list that I kept, but I can't remember any names.
I definitely
What's the-
have more movies that I could name, but I think we've dragged this on long enough.
Yeah, we definitely do. The one that's absolutely brutal though is the. I don't want to ruin it, but God, that had me in fucking tears. The one about the. Well, I'm gonna ruin it. It's like a fun
Was it
story.
Winnebago Man, or?
Well, that one's Winnebago Man is amazing. That's a great one. But the one about the case that takes place in Canada, the son does the documentary for David, I think. Remember? Oh,
I don't
I'm
know.
so bad. People know what I'm talking about. I'm trying not to ruin the Dear
I have
Zachary.
no idea what you're
Dear
talking
Zachary,
about.
not Dear David.
Yeah.
Dear Zachary is really
180
good. It's hard to
degrees
watch, but
south. It's another really good one. I don't know. We could go on and on, but we're gonna move on here.
we're gonna move on. Sorry. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
we're gonna go to a somewhat shorter question. I'm not gonna go to the second one in the doc. I'm gonna go to the third one, and then we're gonna take a break and come back with a couple more.
Bruising me.
Cruising.
Lebo5 asks, if you could buy any car, what would it be? One that's practical, or that kind of makes sense, I guess, like close to financially what you could get or something.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then money just fucking doesn't matter. Any car for any vehicle.
God, I don't know anything
That's
about
hard.
cars.
Hmm.
I'm not a car guy at all. I am not into anything manly except,
Just watch Top
Vagina.
Gear. Top Gear will immediately
yeah.
get you into cars. Oddly
Yeah.
enough.
I do. From what I've seen of Top Gear, I have really, really enjoyed. But I think you're right. If I actually did watch it
Brandon,
regularly,
someone link my car video question answer.
Question answered.
if my car were to take a shit, which is very, very possible, and I had to buy a car based on what money I had right now, so this is the practical question, I'd probably go with a golf cart hooked up to a golf cart engine.
Nice. That's
Wow.
practical.
All right.
As far as what I can afford right now, yeah,
That's
that
what
would.
I can
I'm right
afford.
in your
All right,
up
well,
your
let's
alley,
go.
man.
Let's change it then, because none of us can afford anything. So let's change the first one to like an everyday vehicle. What would
I
you-
love
what would
my. I'm gonna get flack for this. I drive a Volkswagen Jetta 2007. I love the
Solid
way
car.
Volkswagens drive. They are meant to be driven on the autobahn. That's like a
Nazi.
cliche thing, but they really are. And God, okay. It's funny that my Jetta
Nazis
did come
for
with
that.
a Hitler mustache that you that put on when you really are feeling frisky. But yeah, so I love the way my Jetta drives. So I would like to get like a current year TDI Jetta, so
Yes.
the diesel version that gets like 43 to 50 per gallon
Yeah, that's
off diesel
important.
fuel. Because I would definitely buy. I'm going to buy another Volkswagen after this one dies, and I've already got like 100-something thousand miles on this 2007 because I used to drive a ton for my old job, then I drove across the country, and I drive a lot here. So anything Volkswagen, I'm pretty down with. As far as, but are we talking about no expense too as well, or?
Oh well, we can go to practical first.
Okay,
Just go around.
do
So
practical.
Blacklight got a golf cart.
No. It's a shopping cart hooked up to a golf
Oh,
cart
okay.
engine and battery.
as a dude,
Fucking-
as a dude with children, I would want a Subaru Forester or the Legacy, the wagon one, not the Forester. But those are really, really nice cars.
Nice.
And they drive really nice, and they're 4-wheel drive, which is important in Pittsburgh. And yeah, that's what I would get if practicality. Was what we
Plenty
had to
room in the
do.
golf cart for kids, baby.
So what would you get if you just had infinite cash money to spend on a car?
Man. What would I get? I mean, I feel like all the cliched answers are like, oh, Lamborghini or Ferrari or a Porsche.
I don't know.
I mean,
some
I
people
would never.
get-
I would be terrified to get any of those vehicles because even if I had a lot of money, I would be terrified of. I feel like I would always want to be like really careful with it and not like park it in certain places. But I guess not actually.
Yeah. If you had
I guess
infinite
if you
money
had that
in this
much money,
situation,
you could just be like,
doesn't
fuck
matter.
Batmobile.
Batmobile.
Batmobile, dude, not a bad call.
No,
You
I'm
can't
not even that
drive
big a
them.
Batman fan, but you cannot argue with the Batmobile.
Well, you know the one in the newest movies is an actual car that's drivable
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
has license plates and like it's an actual
It's
thing.
just-
The other ones were models in the other movies. The new ones are real.
See, I don't know that I would go with the DeLorean because apparently the reason they're so hard to find is because they were taken off the market very quickly because they had
run
like a
like
solid
shit.
steel frame, and they would just tear the shit out of any other car they crashed into. And even though the driver would be completely fine, it would have like a guaranteed mortality rate against anybody it crashed into.
It
This thing was
also
like a
sucked.
death machine.
It's a shitty
Yeah,
car.
Just
Like,
generally a
it's,
shitty car.
it's like a shitty car. They do
So
look sweet though.
I mean, maybe if it actually was a time machine, then I would buy it if money
Yeah.
wasn't an issue.
Yeah, if it
A lot
was
of
a time
people-
machine.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, most of them aren't. So no.
A lot of people talking about a Bugatti. I mean, I think a lot of them just want to wake up in a new Bugatti. If you catch my drift. Shout out to that rap song if you know what I'm talking about.
Dude, no
But,
rap on
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm right.
Okay.
It's okay though.
Dude, I don't know. I don't fucking know cars. I would honestly like.
It's bad, man. I only live in the practical. Well, no, I don't only live in the practical world. But when it comes to vehicles, I can't even
Yeah.
think about like. I'm just like I don't even know if I had like $1 million to spend. Well, what I would get. I mean,
Well,
fuck.
there's
I would take my Ford Sport SE that I currently drive. That's on its last legs and a total piece of shit. But it is the tightest handling car ever, and I would just strip out everything that needs replacing and just keep it forever. Just
There's-
my car.
There's a couple that I would have in mind. I wouldn't get a Veyron. Everyone says a Veyron. I wouldn't get a Veyron. It's a pointless car for the most part because you're never going to be able to actually use it to max it. Not even at a track are you going to be able to max it. So I don't know. I think I would. I really like Lamborghinis, despite them being insane. But I love the way they look because a car that nuts should look nuts. So
Yeah.
I like an Aventador, the new Lamborghini. The Nissan GTR is friggin' excellent car. That's another one, and it's also practical actually, and it doesn't actually cost that much. GTR or an M3. I like the BMW M3s. So I don't like Ferraris that much.
Yeah, I could go with the BMW. That's a good call. They do catch my eye.
Yeah.
I would like to change
Okay,
my answer.
Change
Oh.
your answer.
I would like to change my answer to hamster ball.
Hamster ball.
Hamster ball.
There was
Someone said the Oscar
Meyer Wiener.
Yeah, the Wienermobile.
Wienermobile,
bad
which
call.
is a strong call.
That's pretty quality. It's very KB
If
mod.
Bob was here, he'd use the KBMOD land truck that he wants to make
Yes.
someday.
Yes,
That'd be pretty sweet.
that would be pretty epic.
Blah's holding in a poop.
I think it was when I was like leaning up to the microphone. I guess that looked like me trying not to shit
a
myself.
Zamboni with a huge engine. That'd be kind of ridiculous and
A
hilarious.
Zamboni? Hell yeah. I would rock that. Absolutely.
All right, guys, we are going to take a quick 2-minute break here. I'm going to get some water because I didn't get any before the show. We're going to take a 2-minute break,
Yeah,
and then
we
we'll
can
be
do
back
that.
with a couple more questions here in the AMA. We have some juicy ones coming up, let me tell you.
Ooh, juicy.
We'll be back
If you
in a
could
couple
have
minutes.
Juistra's arms,
Yes. Is that
Yes,
is that
the
the
answer?
answer is yes.
insert
Yes.
here.
Yes.
That's what we meant by juicy. Okay, yeah, I'll be right back.
Toyota Celica with a jet engine? Jesus Christ.
Wow. Sleeper Golf GTI with no windows. Well, they've all left me.
And I'm here all alone, so you know what that means, don't you? This is the time to have a real talk without either of them here, and if you're a subscriber, you're able to hear this now, yeah. Well, let me tell you something, on Thursday it's going to get real scary up in this bitch, because I'm going to be playing some scary games indeed. Many a scary game indeed. So you should be here. I think I'm going to start, don't tell them what we talked about, but I think I'm going to start at 9 o'clock, I think, on Thursday.
Are you back?
No. Don't say anything.
Hey, Dan. You back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, okay, cool. Just sitting here.
I know what you did.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
The ad's done now. Take the show.
I somehow unplugged my mic by.
Yeah, it's not done yet.
We needed an adult.
The Countach is one of the worst cars to drive ever. K9.
Hold on, I'm
Super
gonna rejoin the
uncomfortable.
call in a second.
Wow, dude. The 80s was all about making a car look insane and horrible to drive. Just make it look insane. Nick Fenton, I know you love the Lambo Diablo. I know you
man. Yep.
Can I change my answer to the last question to the Modern Warfare 3 giveaway Jeep?
do. Yes, I'll allow it.
That is the
thank
best
you.
answer, I
I'll
think,
allow it.
so far.
Yeah, I thought about that while I was getting a drink of water when I looked at my toilet.
Wow. Got it.
Because that came with shit!
All right.
Killing it.
Is that the sound? I don't know.
Okay. Konjokin has a question now that we're back. I'm going to read this whole thing here because that's what we do here. What is your favorite memory from college? I'm just coming to the end of my first year at the University of England and have had some pretty fantastic memories, including a lot of alcohol, of course, and streaking around my dorms naked, of course, which is perfectly okay because my body looks as if it had been crafted by the gods. Also,
Well,
just wanted to say, keep up the good work, lads. Have been a fan since episode 1. I hope he means episode 1 of the podcast and not the AMA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that,
no.
that would be
That would only be a week, and that would be terrible.
that would be like a second.
Well, I don't know. You're jumping to conclusions. I think he may mean the first episode of the AMA.
No, I've seen him around. I've seen him
Okay.
around.
All right. All right. Well. All right.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to kick this off? I already have a
Yeah, I
story
mean,
in
my
mind.
college experience was different. I mean, I know I've heard Dan's college story, so Christ, Dan could go for hours. I don't know about
could.
you, BLR. I did. I never lived in the dorms, unfortunately, so mine. I don't know. I'm not gonna have anything as juicy as yours, but I have a few I can pull out. But you guys start.
Well,
You guys start.
mine can be really quick. We'll let Blah finish this up because
All right.
he's got a story in mind. So,
Oh boy, yeah, his face.
but
I'm not saying it's amazing, but it's all right. It's all right.
So a lot of people have heard a lot of my stories anyway. So I'll go with a slightly different one. There was one time when we drank till the sun came up, which was amazing. Like nothing particularly insane happened, but then like I had
But you were up all night to get lucky.
yes, nobody got lucky. But we were up all night, and I ended up just like walking home, and it was like the most beautiful morning, even though I was hungover. But I was just like, yes, this is pretty not bad right here, actually, because I just had a fantastic evening the night before. I'm not talking about the roof pooping, man. We said the story a million times. You can check the old podcast if you want. One time we stole Capstar's shower out of the basement of his house. That was funny.
Wow.
And then we put it back because they didn't notice it was gone. Now he knows. Now he knows.
Wow. Really?
Um,
This is he finding this out for the first time right now?
Probably not. He's probably
Oh, okay.
before. Yeah, that was great. See, there you go. yeah. Capstar's house was these. One time we were at Capstar's house. I'll just tell a quick story. This is quick. And he lived with like 7 girls or something insane like
What a
that.
legend.
I know, right? And they had all gone out, and when they came back, only my buddy Nick was on the couch, and there were like 9 of us there. And they were like, what, where is everybody? And Nick's like, well, they're all in the bathroom spotting John on. And what spotting is when you watch another dude poop, you help him out, you coach him. You coach him along. You just sit in the bathroom with him, have a
Is this
have
John
a combo.
Howell, John?
No, it's my buddy John On, who's like a bassist in a punk band. And still is, actually. But, so they're like, haha, that's really funny. Are they out back or something? He's like, no, there's 8 dudes in the bathroom right now, sitting in the tub, watching John On take a shit naked.
Wow.
And that's what happened.
Wow.
Well, the question is, were they convinced?
Well, no, but then they went around and looked around the corner, and they were like, holy
just to
fuck,
make sure.
there's 9 dudes in a bathroom right now, and one of them is pooping. So
That's pretty good. That's pretty.
Like, it wasn't
is this a common
destructive.
occurrence, or was this like when you guys got really drunk?
we get really drunk, somebody would call for a spot. My buddy Barry calls for spots even when he's not drunk, so just want somebody to talk to while he poops.
While he poops. Yeah.
Wait. I thought you said Nick was there by himself. I thought he was messing with them. This was actually happening.
Yeah, this was actually happening. He was messing with them. He was on the couch.
Ruse just like the girls.
Yeah,
man.
no, this is
so much better now.
Yeah, they came around the corner. There were 8 of us in the bathroom watching John.
Oh, you were there. That wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was thinking this was a second-hand
this
account.
is not. This
just
is not
gets better and better.
This is not an abnormal happening for this group of people. Like, so,
Good Lord.
No, Barry isn't the one that got stabbed. That's my buddy Ted, who I played WoW with for a very long time. But, or my buddy Andy, not Ted. Ted was with him. Ted would not have gotten stabbed and pulled out the knife. Ted would have just passed out. All right, well.
Okay. Well, I don't think I could top any of Dan's stories because it sounds like Dan went to college before they started expelling people for everything.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't know, the 70s. But we... Okay, so the amount of time I spent in college, I pretty much only spent in the dorms. I only went to school for 3 semesters, and I could have had a house for the 3rd semester, but I didn't submit my forms in time, which was fine because a lot of the people from first year stayed, and I had a cool roommate and everything. So one night I was in my dorm room playing World of Warcraft, which was pretty much the typical, instead of doing my work, and all of a sudden, my friend Maba runs in, and he's like, dude, you gotta come here right now. And I was like, dude, fuck off. Because Maba likes to bother me for a lot of stupid things, even to this day. And I was like, dude, fuck off. I don't care what you have to say. And, I was way too absorbed in the WoW. So he's like, no, you need to come here right now. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I follow him down the hall. He lived down the hall from me. Follow him into his room. And there are like 6 people sitting there in total silence. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, what exactly is... And everybody's like, shh. I'm like, what? Why would... And they're shh. And I stop and listen. I realize they're all sitting there listening to something. I stop and listen, and all we hear all of a sudden is just the most rhythmic pounding you've ever heard. Just...
Oh, no.
What is this?
Oh, no. I'm getting nervous.
And keep in mind, like, there's nobody fucking in here. There's nobody, like, tenderizing meat or anything. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And they go, listen closer. And so I stop, and just the slightest, like, like, this girl is just moaning. Okay, this girl that lived next to him, for some reason, like, there was these 2 girls that were from the same hometown that lived right next door to Maba. And they were his neighbors, and they like never talked to anybody on the floor ever. And this girl just like brought this guy in from out of town, her friend from her hometown or whatever, and is just getting drilled by this guy in the like they're like, this has been going on for 45 minutes.
Oh my god!
They're like, we are not exaggerating. This guy has been going at it for like ever, and he has. And Baba just turns to me and goes, he hasn't missed a beat. So we named him the Metronome, and and so we all start laughing. We named him the Metronome. We had never seen this guy before. They like snuck him in the dead of night or something because we didn't see him at all. It was really weird because they were so reclusive, and we knew so little about the two girls and this guy.
Wow.
And so the end of the story is eventually, you know, we have like by the end of the night we have like literally 9 people jammed into this dorm room listening to this, and eventually we get bored and we start talking about other things and yada yada. And because we had so many people and it's getting hot in the dorm room, we all kind of like spilled out into the hallway, and we're just kind of like hanging out in the hallway, loitering and chatting, and all of a sudden the door opens and everyone just goes dead silent without even turning to look. Everyone just instantly just stops what they're doing and talking about. Nobody was talking about the people fucking in the next room anymore. Everybody just stops. And we all just turn and look at the same exact time to this girl who comes out with like her hair just completely disheveled in a bathrobe, and she just stopped and she's like deer in the headlights. She's just like, and we're all like, and she just like slowly slinks off to the bathroom, and we were like, oh my god, you're gonna need some like hot and cold or something, some ice.
Now
9 people just observing this. That's kind of creepy, really. To be honest.
I mean, and it was.
But that rhythmic pounding, man.
It does sound like it was beautiful.
Like I said, it was so in time. It was so perfect and so mechanical that there was a hypnotic quality to it.
Yeah,
it was not. It was not even a point of anybody like listening, being like, "Yeah, that's hot." It was just like, "Holy shit."
It's perfect.
It was just like this is the peak of human sexual performance for the man. She's probably dead.
Yeah,
she probably snuck off to the bathroom and bled out.
She may not even had a good time. I don't know. Like,
if she's still alive, she's sterile. He destroyed her cervix.
I mean, I have had sex before, and I have watched lots of pornography in my life, and I don't know that I've ever seen or done anything like that. Where the same thing over and over again for
45 minutes?
Like seriously, porn stars don't do that shit because it's like not hot. It's creepy.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's creepy and mechanical and robotic and scary. And human beings weren't designed to fuck like that.
Yeah.
You gotta change it up. You change positions. You change tempo. It's kind of like a peaks and valleys kind of thing, you know?
You're supposed to be having a good time, not just like rhythmically...
When she
came, I imagine his hands like up in the air, just hands off, and back, and just like
just constant pounding.
Let's put it this way:
he's got his arms crossed. She's just like
when she came out of the dorm room, there were a lot of expressions on her face, but satisfaction was not one of them. Let's just put it that way.
Well, you know what really gets me is the metronome went for that long. You guys didn't hear any screaming or any like, oh my god, like
just like a very slight like. This had to be like, and I've heard of guys like this that take like an hour of like strenuous sex in order to come, and it's just really hard for them to achieve orgasm for whatever reason.
Those people are not Mike Pollack, I'll tell you that right now.
No, Mike's a 5 seconder.
46 seconds.
He's a 1 pump chump.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I mean, I've heard tell of men like this, and apparently, sex with them is not cool. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just supposed to be from all accounts.
We have confirmation from a female in chat that is too long.
That is too long. Yep.
Telling you
that would hurt. That would hurt. She says.
Oh, that's not. I thought we were talking about somebody who had sex with Mike Pollack.
No, she was talking about the metronome dude and how that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Even as a guy, that sounds not like.
It sounds like not fun at all.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes you want to get your pump on in the boneyard, but you don't want to do it like that. I would say.
I would just become. I would just stop having sex if it took that much effort. I'd just be like, it's not worth it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Throned gorilla. 45 seconds too short, 45 minutes too long. Got it, KBMOD.
Hey.
Get all your sex advice from us.
We're
just somewhere
here
in the
for
middle
you.
and you're fine.
Hey, keep in mind that I showed up in 45 minutes and we listened for a good like 15 minutes after that.
Jesus,
God
damn, you're
damn,
right.
dude.
That's crazy, man.
That poor girl. Whoa, what if it was in the butt?
Oh no.
A girl brings that up too. God damn.
She would never poop right again.
Yeah. She'd be done.
She would have to have a colostomy.
All right. now we're going to go into a question that's going to hit a little close to home for APL right now, certainly. And also...
Did Scott tell his college story?
Oh, no.
He
I
didn't.
don't have anything that's on par
He
with that.
didn't live on campus, which
Yeah,
actually
so-
complicates those a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But, so this next one, though, Scott will have a lot to say, I feel. Or a very short, loud thing to say, one of the two. Johnny Walker Purple asks, how do you deal with haters? Has anyone ever made you feel bad about yourself? Do you think the gaming community will ever be less toxic than it is now? Let me start this off real quick by saying that the KBMOD community, as a general rule, is pretty much not that negative, which is pretty cool.
They're, I mean, definitely very, I don't know, we kid hard, you know, and that can be a little grating to some people, but the overall negativity is very, very, very low.
I think some people may mistake the sarcasm of KBMOD followers for negativity.
We are grossly sarcastic, but we
We're
are
very
not,
sarcastic.
We are not mean-spirited.
Yeah,
Right.
see, here come all the APL memes.
Right, here we go. Just all the memes.
Just send them all out.
Now, so you guys
Cyberbullying.
are having fun with Scott, but I know for a fact, especially when you started it over with Sark, man.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Well, we
some
could talk.
rough, rough fucking comments in there, and I was like, these fucking 12-year-old little Xbox Live pieces of shit. Because that's
It was
who
the
it
best because Dan used to G-chat with me. Well, we still G-chat, but when I first started, Dan used to be the one who would, like, Dan was like a protective mother, was like, who the fuck do these kids think they are? I'm gonna fucking kill. It was so funny. It was cute, Dan. But yeah, I mean, obviously I've dealt with my fair share of hatred, obviously with the whole Respawn thing, and that was tough for a while. Like, I mean, there were times where it would get to me, like, for the most part. For a while, I would read all the comments, which I would recommend if you were in any kind of position of any kind of notoriety or where you can get some heat for stuff, especially because of the whole Nanners and Hutch thing. That was very polarizing when they left, and people were very upset. So, I mean, I don't care if Jesus Christ himself came down and was handing out free salvation posters. It wouldn't have really mattered.
Just posters.
Terminator Salvations, posters for that movie.
Well, maybe that too.
Then we
That
would
could have
set
helped.
those on fire. Anyway.
So it was a hot LZ when I got dropped in, and it was good though. I was glad I've gone through that because it does teach you. There was literally a moment, I've talked about this on Radio Respawn before, but there was a moment where I was really, like, I had one day where I was just, like, super fed up. I was, like, reading, like, all the comments, like, all of them. I would go through 1,000, 1,500 comments.
That's a bad idea.
There'd be like 500 good ones, and then there'd be maybe 25 like garbage insults where you're like, okay, that's like faggot. Okay, I don't care about this.
Yeah.
Like, you really start prioritizing when you're getting a lot of heat. You start prioritizing what you're going to take to heart. So it's not those ones. It's the ones that are like really well thought out and like clearly written by someone who has gone to school. And it's like, let me real quick break down why not only is this person not funny, but he will never be funny, and it's a mistake. And those ones are the ones you're like, holy, like, this person has just taken you, and literally they think they know you, and they chew you apart, like, and so I would read those, and I had one day where I was just like, oh my god, I'm so fucking fed up. I'm so over it. And then I was like, so this was early in the day, and I finally was going home, and I was like, I was in a bad mood, and I was raising my voice to people like shit I never do. Like, I get in bad moods, but I'm pretty much a pretty jovial guy overall. And I was like, what is going on? And like in the back of my mind, I realized like all this stuff is weighing on me when I'm reading all these comments and doing all this shit. And I had a thing where I was like, why do I care what any of these people who I will never meet, who clearly have certain inadequacies and fears and lots of issues of their own, why do I care what they think? And why do I let them have any input on the value that I have for my company or who I am or any of the stuff? And it was literally like a switch went off, and I literally, it was like one of those epiphany moments where I stopped giving a shit, truly. Like, it was like a switch. I was like, I can just turn it off.
Yeah.
And I literally, it was like click, and I truly, for the most part, I stopped caring. And it wasn't that I didn't read the comments anymore, but for the most part, I stayed out of them. Like, I would go in once in a while, but I wouldn't read them all. And I just focused on doing what I could, doing the best job I could. And I think over time, obviously, that like heat kind of died down, and Sark and I were together.
Right.
People started digging it. But and even now, like, obviously, still like certain things get to you and certain things bother you, but it's nothing like it was before. But I think you kind of have to go through that initially, because people can say like, oh, I don't care about the haters and I don't care about that, but until you've like really like dealt with it or gotten down from it and decided that you're not going to care anymore, I think it can be valuable to kind of go through that. But I mean,
Absolutely.
it's the internet though. Like you have to expect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just everything is so volatile on the internet. Everything is so toxic on the internet, and honestly, even before the internet, people still had to deal with things like this on a lesser scale, to be fair, but still had to deal with this kind of thing. And a major part of growing up and a major part of maturing is going through unpleasant times. And this is one very specific scenario where you're going to go through some unpleasant times, and people are going to say really nasty things about you. And basically, the more you deal with it, the less it affects you, and you become jaded to that. And you're just kind of, I mean, the first couple times I got some nasty comments on my stuff, which thankfully, even to this day, happens very rarely. But like on my YouTube channel, which is where I focus most of my efforts, you know, I very rarely get any really negative comments. I think I have a pretty loyal and kind viewer base. Now, nowadays, when I get something like that, I generally, the way I deal with it now is, does it affect me? A little tiny bit. To be fair, it's still, I really haven't gone through anything like Scott has gone through, where he's just had wave after wave of retards wondering why he's not Hutch.
That is what they are.
Yeah, I have had my fair share of haters which make me famous. And it honestly, it did bother me at first. Now it bothers me just the tiniest bit. I usually just deflect the comment with a little bit of sarcasm. One of my favorite things to do is to point out something in their argument that has absolutely nothing to do with what they're saying. Like, I actually just had on my most recent Pokemon video, I had a guy show up. Now, for context, I know a lot of people here aren't Pokemon fans. I do a Pokemon rule set called Nuzlocking, which is like Pokemon hard mode. It's self-imposed hard mode rules. And I'm doing a variation on it where I'm hatching Pokemon from eggs that were donated from viewers. So I have no control over which Pokemon I'm getting for myself. And I actually pulled it up here while Scott was talking. This guy comes here. I've since blocked him from my channel because he posted comments on like 4 of my videos, like right in a row, all of them just completely bashing me. And I was just like, I'm just not going to put up with this guy. I normally do not ban people for writing hateful comments.
I know that Scott and John and like All Sham No Wow and Fenton, those dudes are block machines.
They'll block
YouTube,
at the drop of the hat,
man.
And I don't have the need. Now those guys are a lot bigger than I am. I don't have the need to do that as it is right now. So unless somebody really shows that they have no interest in being constructive, they have no interest in watching and enjoying, they're just completely negative, total douchebags, they're never going to say anything constructive, I'm just going to block them. But this guy comes here and he says, 3 bloody starters and you call yourself a Nuzlocker. No, I don't. The thing is, you are actually acting like you are good at it. No, I don't. Fuck out of here with your garbage. I hope you know that there are real players who throw their starters away at the first chance to get to the challenge themselves. Sorry, I read that wrong. They throw their starter away the first chance they get to challenge themselves. You are literally spitting on the Nuzlocke challenge. And so I told him, look up the definition of the word literally. That was my response, because there are so many accusations and assertions being thrown at me that I simply just don't give a shit about, that I would rather pick on his grammar just to illustrate that I really don't care about anything.
Well, there's this whole argument of there's how often do you even engage, and is it ever valuable to engage? And this is the only time it's ever valuable to engage with people that are actually like hating on you or feeding the troll, so to speak, is if it makes you feel better, but you're able to clean cut from that point, right? Some people engage and they can't stop engaging and they just feed it.
They want to.
If you can cut, if like you can go in and be like, say your piece, and then literally be done with it, just so that you feel better, that's fine. Like, there's no reason not to do that. It's when sometimes it's when you're really feeding the trolls when you can't stop. If you keep doing it, then you need to like tell.
I not much on YouTube, which is really, to me, like this guy asked about the gaming community being less toxic. The gaming community, I don't think, is that toxic. It's more, I think actually Twitch chats, it all depends on the stream itself. That's what it is. But YouTube comments as a whole are just the most negative, garbage-filled shit.
Totally.
This is not just
you can even imagine.
Gaming.
Like, it's... I actually was someone who tried desperately not to block people for a while. And, like, I actually I have maybe, like, 1 or 2 people blocked on Twitter. But that's it. And, like, a couple mutes on Twitter. And, like, that's it. But like on YouTube, I think I blocked 5 or 6 people, and I think a couple of them were for like spam, and not even for like, you know, being like a dick or whatever. I didn't get too many people who did that. There was one guy I responded to with some super harsh thing I said to him, where someone else in the comments was like, "Holy shit, dude! Why did you?"
I remember that.
Yeah,
I forget what you
said.
said.
Something about his,
but
like,
people were like actually shocked at how hard you came at him or something.
It was
I
something
do
about
remember
his
that.
family dying, like horribly or something. I mean, it was like I went hard at him, but like I generally don't respond to anything and try not to. But the great thing about Twitch, as far as negativity, if we're talking about gaming community, is that if you're on a channel and you don't like what you see in the chat,
right,
you can just hide the chat.
You can hide the chat. Absolutely.
It's that easy. I mean, it is harder when you're a streamer, when you're actually streaming. Now, luckily, as like we said, KBMOD is a really great community. We do most of our streaming related to KBMOD, and we don't have that problem.
Negative comments on this, and it has been like I forget what I was doing, but playing something, and I just wasn't doing well, and I've had people come in, wow, this guy sucks, but like that, you know, I don't really care if they say that.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
But the best one ever, and it was people have heard this before, was the guy who came in the first night I streamed WoW, towards the tail end of the stream.
People have talked about this in chat,
Yeah. This dude's name was like Gish or something like that, like G1SH or something. I forget what his name was, but he said, "Hey guys, like I really hope." It was like the weirdest comment ever, though. Is like thing about it. He was like, "Hey guys, you know, I really like your content, but I have to unfollow anyone who streams League, Dota, or WoW. So goodbye and good luck," or something like that. And then he left. He just fucking left. Like, and I was just, I like stopped the stream, and I was just like, I guarantee you, I know what he watches constantly, and I bet he came in from Isaac streams. I bet he came in from Isaac streams because Gish is one of the bosses. And I bet he came in from Isaac streams, and he just frequents Isaac streams. So the minute someone put something popular on Twitch on, he was like, "I'm gonna hipster this shit right up." Totally. Yeah, I'm a Twitch hipster, man. Yeah, but that was the thing too. Is he was like, "I really like your content, but," and he's like, "Good luck in the future." Like, what the fuck?
He's like, "I'm done. I'm out."
What the fuck?
That's
I think I can still remember the most hurtful comment I have ever received, and this is still a fan of mine. So I'm sorry to shout you out. And luckily to your credit, I don't remember your name, so I'm not going to call you out by name on the stream. But this was a female subscriber, and I think these are the worst kind of comments, are the ones where they try to be on your side,
but they still flame the fuck out of you.
Yeah, somehow. like sometimes inadvertently, and this was. So this was okay. First off, the fact that it was a female subscriber actually influenced this, because this is definitely a what's the word I'm looking for? A self-esteem thing, and I wrote I did a commentary. It was all about I really like to read people and try to figure out what people are like, and she commented, "Blah, you're just like me. You read people all the time and you're ugly." I was like,
"What the fuck?
Wow. What? Ouch. What? That one fucking hurt really bad. Because that was trying to commiserate with me. Like, we had both already accepted the fact that we are unsightly, and we were just like, hey, let's meet up on this. Let's have a conversation about how disgusting we are to the human eye.
Good lord.
I was like, oh, man, that only a fan, not a hater, but a fan can hurt you like that. That was really, really, I think probably the worst comment I've ever received.
Real quick,
she's probably ugly anyway. Don't worry about it, dude.
If people found this dude who made that comment, and please, I beg of you to not go over there and flame him. Please do not do that.
Yeah, we're not all about
just bringing up stories. If you do that, you are not.
Don't link it in chat. People already said that, but don't please.
We were already just talking about it.
That is a fucked up comment, dude.
That
straight up just being like, "You're ugly, dude."
Because that was one of those.
As
you read the sentence, it was kind of like, okay, backhand.
What?
Just came out of right at the end of the sentence. It was like, ooh, it stings a bit.
I'm guessing Gish just got a ton of viewers, though.
Yeah. Just don't spam.
Please don't
chat.
spam him, guys.
Yeah,
If you
leave the
were
guy
on the
alone. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the other thing too, one good like people don't appreciate. I mean, obviously our viewers are a lot more, I think, keen to it, but or keen to the whole like the hater stuff because we talk about it a lot. But there's a really good documentary called Heckler, which actually is by Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy did this documentary, which is on Netflix, which I obviously even saying that Jamie Kennedy did anything great is a little weird, but even then I'm kind of hating. But it actually gives you some really good perspective because it's about it's about basically heckling, obviously, at comedy shows, but also people that write really hateful things, whether they're reviewers or YouTube comments. So there's a moment in Heckler where he's just talking about the showbiz industry because he used to get Jamie Kennedy used to get really, really, really depressed and like started drinking and like talked to a lot of other comedians who have had the same kind of issue. And there's a point at which a trailer for his Mask movie, he did the Son of the Mask movie. It goes up onto YouTube, and he goes into the comments to read what people are saying about him, and he is literally he can't even handle. It's so bad. I mean, and this is the shit. This is what made me kind of feel like, I can handle this shit. He like starts crying. I'm pretty sure he starts crying reading the comments on his like trailer about how mean he just can't get over how mean people are, and he's like, these people don't know me and they just shit on me, and so it gave me a little bit of perspective about like us that do this. We kind of lose sight of the fact that there is no other medium like this like out there where people can watch your shit and then immediately through anonymity on the internet leave good things, hateful things, things that make no sense, but that still will get back to you if you're anyone that's good at doing this stuff. You're going to read the feedback. So you have to take everything like obviously with a grain of salt, but also realize like we are in a space that is we are in the hottest of LZs on the internet. Like it's just part of this whole media space. But it is interesting to see like and a lot of these actors and stuff that are in films and get flamed all the time, they don't read the newspapers, they don't read the blogs. That's literally how they're able to maintain their sanity. Yeah, is they don't read anything. Whereas when you're in this, like we run a website and I'm in media and you guys all have channels, like we have to be in it. We don't really have that option of being like, well, not going to read anything today. Like, we kind of have to. We have to be wrapped up in all that.
And for us, especially in the attitude that we portray, especially on the podcast and during streams, like if we think something sucks, we fucking say it sucks. Like
totally.
So I mean, we're dealing with that too. Like we don't know the circumstances surrounding. For example, we don't know the circumstances surrounding SimCity, and I bet the people at Maxis were fucking really hurt, to be honest, like about what happened with all that shit.
Yeah,
like
the whole internet just totally ganged up on
just
them.
Like
and
fucking shit all over it.
Not to say they didn't deserve it, but that doesn't make it any less hurtful.
What I'm saying, like I can only
we probably
imagine,
deserve some of the hate that we get.
I can only imagine, like
I know.
what it would be like to be. Be that.
Yeah.
Like
Overall, I think haters and reading hateful comments and dealing with them is a really, really healthy thing. It really
it can be as long as you don't spiral down the dark abyss. Because
if you're like Jamie Kennedy, you might want to hold off on just for the sake of your mental integrity. But really, it keeps you grounded. And like I said before, it sort of jades you and it kind of makes you I hate using it makes you a stronger person, but it kind of does. I was always very, very socially awkward, very shy. I was single for a very long time. I still am. I don't know what I'm talking about. And obviously I wanted a girlfriend. I wanted somebody to bang, but I would go up to women and just like, I wouldn't go up to women. I was terrified of speaking to women because I was afraid of rejection. Now, after being on YouTube for 2 years and suffering every single kind of abuse that every retard with an internet connection can come up with, going up to a girl doesn't seem so scary anymore. You just go up and say hi, and if they don't like what they see, then fuck it. I don't really care.
It is definitely a good tool, man. It can be a good tool to take some hate. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it forces you to mature in a lot of ways too, because you have to deal. I mean, one thing too, no one can be harder on yourself than you are. No one. Like you are. Everyone knows all of their greatest fears and insecurities already. So no one's going to say really anything to you that's going to make you be like, oh my god, I've never thought that about myself. Or it's just being able to balance that, with a grain of salt is the important thing. But yeah, man, haters are our motivators. Isn't that right?
They make me famas.
That's right.
So
all good.
Man,
my biggest insecurity is my Firefall shirt.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair,
it's pretty hideous. So
to be fair, you should be insecure.
Thanks for the support, guys.
To be fair to you and Mark Kern and everyone at Red 5 Studios, you should feel bad. You had the most annoying thing ever at a conference in the lobby at PAX East.
Oh my god.
So they
What
didn't
a fucking
have
eye
instead.
and your sore.
We've went over this, but instead of a fucking booth, you had this giant thing that just made the loudest fucking noise on the planet every 20 minutes.
Yeah. We were trying to have a conversation next to that, because that's what lobbies are for.
What were you thinking?
Not for landing helicopters.
Alright, guys. Well, that is it for episode 2. We tried to keep it to an hour. We were way over last week because it was the first time we had really done it. But the video on YouTube will be around an hour, so it'll be on YouTube next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, guys. Next week we'll be doing a Metro Last Light launch stream, no AMA. But Metro will be out, which is a glorious thing.
I love Metroid.
So. Me too. So we will see you. I don't know if either of these gents are streaming after I'm going to bed, but we will see you next time, bros.
A lot of people calling for a stream. Ah, God, I will consider it. Possibly go idle on my channel. I don't know. Maybe if
go idle on my channel while I run ads.
While I run
Up
ads,
kids.
and then I'm such a scumbag. I'll tweet if I'm going to stream. Maybe in the next 30 minutes. Possibly.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out, bros.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Later.